Obrigada.
Estamos ao vivo já, pessoal.
Welcome. Thank you for being here with us today. We will talk about the challenge of social development, water management, and health and operational safety. But before we start, I will kindly ask you to share the link of this webinar within your network and make sure that everyone will take the advantage of asking questions directly to the mining technical teams that we have here with us today. Also, follow us on the channel, activate the bells so you'll get notified every time we have a new video in here, okay? For those who don't know who I am, I'm Camilla. I'm a corporate accelerator in Nell Ventures. And now we connect solutions, startups, and projects to large companies. And here we have the Mining Hub universe. And we have a series of programs, MSTART being one of them. The Mining Hub is an open innovation initiative to bring innovation to the mining sector. And we are able to connect suppliers, startups, public institutes, universities to bring what is new and best to the sector. It is a great opportunity to change for better the mining sector. So welcome to our universe. And we are less than 2 years old, but we have achieved incredible results and we are being recognized internationally. We have several mining companies, varying sizes and productions, as you can see in here. We also have more than 26 suppliers with us helping all of this happen. And finally, we have our partners. We have New Ventures. We have IBRAM, the Brazilian Mining Association, a very important player. We have WeWork, where we have our amazing space for the hub. We have the whole 5th floor on the WeWork Savassi. We have Goulart and Colepiclu, a law office, and FTC, which is a famous business school. Moving to what we all want to know, which is the MSTART. This program, as we said before, it's a relationship channel between mining companies, suppliers, entrepreneurs being startups, universities, technology-based companies, and others to develop solutions for the biggest challenge in the mining sector. And we are now today with this program at the beginning of the 4th cycle. We work with 6 different themes, being tailings and residue management, water management, alternative energy sources, health and operational safety, operational efficiency, and social development. And here we already talked about the schedule a little bit in the previous webinars. I'm going to go very quickly through this one, but if you need more information, you can always email us, or you can watch our first webinar. We were more detailed in every single step that we had in here, okay? The first one, so you know, the program already started in January and we had a month and a half to prepare everything so we could start the applications like we are doing right now. So we work with the public notice and others. The second thing we're having right now is the registration, right? We will have a month and a half of registration, remembering it's gonna end on May 31st, but as soon as you gather all information that you need, make sure that you apply, you register, and then you don't let it to, what I want to say is just like gather as much information as you can, watch our webinars, email us if you have any doubt, but as soon as you have everything, subscribe, apply for our program. Don't let it to the last minute, okay? Then we will have a month for selection, and which we will choose which solutions will move to the bootcamp phase. And in between the selection and the bootcamp phase, we have a week just to make sure that we will have arranged for everyone to be here in Belo Horizonte. Let's just keep in mind that it can be online if we understand that the whole COVID situation is not safe yet for everyone, okay? Then we will move to the bootcamp phase, and being a week to choose which solution will finally move to the implementation of the POC or the proof of concept, and then 3 weeks to do all the bureaucratic work that we need to do, contracts and everything. Finally, we got to the excited part that we have 5 months for implementation of the proof of concept, the help with all the technical teams from the mining. There's going to be sponsored the challenge. And on December 9th, we'll have our demo day, a huge event to present your results to the whole community, right? If you want to sneak a peek of what is this demo day that we have and what happened, on June 3rd, we will have the demo day for the 3rd cycle that is just happening, like we are just finishing that cycle and starting the 4th. So we advise you to follow us on the social media. We will tell you more information soon about this event, but make sure that you do a little effort to see how it works. It's really an incredible event. And then the startups and the solutions will present all the results that they get. It's a really, it's amazing. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna see this and you're gonna be willing to join our 4th cycle, okay? Finally, we are gonna move to what we want, which is hearing from everyone or the technical team who is gonna be, what's the challenge and more in depth of what we have. So for the challenge of real-time qualitative and quantitative water monitoring, we have João from Vale. João, I'll ask you to open your microphone and also turn on your camera, and welcome.
Well, hello, good afternoon to all. I think I can start. I will explain what this challenge is all about. Let's imagine that we are a water user of water, of course, but we are we use water. We draw the water and then we use in our processes. And after that, we'll reuse that water, and some part of that water also is consumed, and the other part is discharged. Today, we have good measurements of the water that we draw, and we also have good measures of the quantity of water that we discharge. Nevertheless, we have some losses in all this process. And today we do this simple calculation, that is the water that we draw minus the water that we discharge will be our consumption. But we know that consumption can be with several sources. For instance, we have some losses, some leaks in pipes. We have evaporation from tailings dams and water dams, and we also have what we call the tailings entrainment. That is the water that is incorporated in tailings and that we cannot withdraw. It gets lost. So all those losses, what they make us do is that we might we will find that water in new water. It means that the more consumption that we have, the more water that we must withdraw. So that's the challenge, is to find out something that we can look at those losses in real time monitoring. And another thing that I find important in this challenge is also the quality parameters that it must be more well known when I say this is the nowadays we do this monitoring weekly or monthly, and if we have this monitoring in continuous way, we might find some changes, some small changes, big changes that can help us to have a better management of those discharges. So I think the whole picture is this one: find out where those losses are in continuous measurement, okay? And that is quality and quantity. I think.
All right, thank you, João,
okay.
for your thoughtful explanation about this challenge that we have. We do have a question for you, which is how important it is the measurement of natural losses and what are the main sources of the losses?
All the losses are important, okay? So like I said, if we lose that water, we must get it from natural resources, okay? So the less losses, the better for us. And of course, we'll be looking at the big losses at the first time, in the first, but then we'll also be looking at the other losses. And the natural losses that we have now, I think the big one is the evaporation. As I don't know if everyone knows, but in mining we have tailings dams and also water dams. That's where we keep our balance. That's our big reservoir for water. And the bigger those lakes are in area, the more evaporation we will have. So that's a loss that we for sure we want to reduce.
Oh, thank you. Well,
that
was yeah, that was
I hope I answered the question.
I think you did, and you also bring something new. So making sure that we look into the water that is evaporating and then the whole process. We don't have any more questions for now, but I would like to make sure that everyone knows that you have an open communication with us. You can always email any questions. We'll make sure that you won't get any doubts that you have, and then he will explain everything in the email, okay? Thank you, João, for being here with us today.
Okay, thank you, and I'm available anytime, okay?
All right. Moving to our next challenge, we'll have electric power block without human intervention. And we have two mining sponsoring this challenge, which is Nexa and Morro do IP. Unfortunately, Morro do IP won't be with us today, but again, email us. I'm pretty sure Nexa will explain very thoughtful everything that we have about this challenge, and anything that is very specific to Morro do IP, just email us. We will have all the questions answered. Okay, so for next we have Arthur, and I'll welcome you, Arthur. Just open your microphone and your video, and you're more than welcome.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Arthur, and I work in Nexus Health and Safety team, and I will present the challenge launched to today's startups, Power Energy Block without human intervention. We're looking for initiatives and brand new ideas to simplify the power block procedure for equipment maintenance to make this process safer. 4 key points were mapped in the execution of this task. 1. First step is the need of intervention in equipment, for example, maintenance. 2. Second step, the blocker receives an official request to blocker the equipment. Third step, the blocker manually fills the blocking card, where all the information of the power block is and delivers is to the blockade officer, who's the person responsible for ensuring that the area is isolated and the procedure are in the accordance with the blocking matrix. The blockade officer constitutes a book of spreadsheets with all the procedures of carrying out the blockade in all areas of Nexa and for all equipment. All equipment must have a label with the blocking information that will be placed on the padlocks directed to the power source, and this label is filed manually too. In step 4, is certificate the energy sources are blocked through the zero energy test according of the blocking matrix. Once certified, the active begins. Our goal is to eliminate risk, reduce the interaction of people in this flow, and make this process safer, agile, and traceable. We aim to zero risks on the process. Okay.
Thank you, Arthur, for your explanation. While we wait for some questions, do you have like any specific part that you're more worried, or do you have anything that you can add or summarize, or important points that you want to talk about here while we wait some questions?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Do you have any points that you want to summarize what you just said, or some points that are very extremely important, or to add to this point, just to see if we have some questions coming in?
So,
Camilla, it's Eliani. How are you?
Oh, good. And you, Eliani?
Yeah, how are you? Can I stay with my video off?
That's okay.
Okay. Well, in resume, you know, the block procedures use a block matrix, and all these procedures are very manual. So we are looking for new ideas to help us with this demand, because the process of blocking needs, the maintenance process demands a blocking of several equipments, and the consultation of a guideline with a lot of information. And all these informations are very specific and a lot of equipments. And all these activities are manual. And we need a good idea, and our expectative is about idea to help us with a safer procedure to block all this equipment.
All right. Thank you, Eliani. We don't have any more questions. We were just waiting to see if we had some questions coming. But again, make sure that if you're watching us later, if you have any question, email us. We will make sure that Arthur, Eliani, and all the Nexa team, also the ones that couldn't be here today from Morro do IP, will get your questions and then answer them. Okay. Thank you so much, Arthur and Eliani, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next challenge is the inclusion of PwC in operational works. And to talk about this specific challenge, we have here today Marcos Freitas from Morro do IP, and he will explain more about this challenge and all the details about it. Marcos, you're more than welcome to turn on your camera and your microphone.
I already did, Camila. Can you see me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Marcos. I work at Mineração Morro do IP, and I'm going to talk about our challenge that is inclusion of persons with disability. What happens is that currently at IP, you only have 2% of people with some disability. And put that in numbers, we only have 3 employees with disability. So our goal is to at least double this number. So you'd like to have after this challenge is carried out, we'd like to have at least 6 people with some disability. This challenge is divided in 3 macro phases. The first one is to work with the partner to find or to map in our process, in our company, which processes in which departments we could receive these new employees. And after we do that, we would like to have help of the partner to go to the market and track these new employees to find them and make a connection between them and our company. And after we do this connection, we find them in the market, we would like help with, or assist from the startup to help us adjust our process in order to receive these new employees and make them feel comfortable and welcome at our company, and that they stay there working for us for a long time. So why we want to do that is because we know that these people that have some disability, they face a hard time to go to the market, to enter the job market, and so you'd like to help them to start a career and also to have even more inclusive environment in our company. So pretty much that. So if you guys have any questions, I will be happy to answer.
Thank you, Marcos, for your explanation. We do have 2 questions though for you. And the first one is, how did Morro do IP carry out the recruitment and selection process of the current people with disability?
What happens that these people, our leaders that is working today with us, they already knew these employees from all the companies, and they brought them with them when they start at IP.
Okay.
Pretty much, we in our selection process, we almost never have PWD people applying for our job.
Okay, so I think that's a very important information that we just got in here for everyone that is applying for this challenge. And we have a second question, which is, what are the biggest challenges faced today for the inclusion of people with disability at Morro do IP?
I think it's to find them, because as I said, we almost never get this PWD in our selective processes. So to find them, to track them on the market, we find, I think it's the the hardest part of this process. Of course, after we find them, we need to adjust our process, but I think it's not easy, but it's easier than finding on the market.
Okay, I think we don't have any more questions for you today. But again, remember you that you're seeing us after this, just email us. We'll make sure that Marcos and the whole team will get the questions that you ask and then answer them for you, okay? Thank you, Marcos, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Camila, and I'm available if you need anything.
All right, thank you. You all probably noticed that I skip a challenge in here, which is real-time monitoring employees' exposure to heat, vibration, and noise. We had some technical problems here with the person that was about to speak. So if you have any questions about this challenge, make sure that you email us. We have here on the chat the email that you can reach us. So it's contato, CONTATO @mininghub.com.br, and we'll gladly make sure that your questions will all be answered. Okay. We did cover all the challenges for the three themes that we have for here today. We're getting to the end of our webinar, But stay with us just for a little bit longer because we have important points that we want to share with you. And our public notice in English can be accessed through this link. So if you have any questions about the application or the public notice, now is the time to ask. While we wait for you to put your questions on the chat, let's remember that the deadline to apply for the program is May 31st. And that on the application, you'll have to answer questions in 4 different areas. So about the startup, the solution development stage, and the team. We really want to know who you are and who's going to be working with the mining companies. Okay. I don't think we have any questions, so I'm going to move on to the next point. Just remember, email us if you have any questions later in the process. We have this program called, well, Mining Hub has this program called mConnect. And if you have a solution that is not a fit for what we are looking for on the 4th cycle of the MSTART right now, you should apply and let us know what's your solution. You'll see that the application is very similar for both, but what we want to know is understand your solution and see how we can be a fit for the whole hub, since it's not a fit for the 4th cycle of the mining for the MSTART. Okay. And finally, I want to invite you for our next webinar. That's gonna happen on the 13th in Portuguese and on the 14th in English about the challenge of waste management and alternative energy sources. So share with everyone, share with your connection. We just see that we have a lot of the whole team, technical team from the mining company here just for you. So take advantage of this amazing opportunity that we have here. Let your friends know, let everyone know that probably has a solution for those challenges. And make sure that you are following us on the social media channels, because then you're going to be stay tuned about all the events that we have and also about all the content that we are preparing just for you. I hope I'll see you in our next webinar. I thank everyone that was here with us today and had a time to come and talk about the challenge that we have in this program, and also answering some of the questions that we received prior. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next time.